Alright, gonna attempt to show you the 2 million damage a second build that I got here. Let's see if we can do it. I missed the one thing. Yeah, look at that. Look at that baby. Urgh. So, yeah, I definitely peaked over 2 million damage a second at one point. Some of that, you got a million from the gems, which is like 7.3% of the deal. Um, that howling, let's just look at it. Howler's call, man. That thing, 360% base damage. Da da da. It's nice. That's usually every build I've had. That's my biggest attack. Um, you can see from my gems here, I am very defense oriented. I got my Frozen Heart here, Blessing of Worthy, uh, Bottled Hope. Pretty standard here. Blood Soaked Jade, Seeping Bile is nice. Uh, running Spiteful Blood, and this is very nice for the crit damage. Mother's Lament is pretty good, but other than like the Jade and Seeping Bile, I don't have and the Howlers. I don't have any of your typical attack gems. So this damage could be insanely higher. But I'm gonna run down through here, show you what I've got, why it works right now. 4-piece Vithu gets the attack speed up 30%. Actually, yeah. Yeah, attack speed up 30% is nice. Um, 2-piece Banquet of Eyes. You could. I haven't experimented, and I'm not going to do the math. It's hard to compare apples to apples. Like, I could put a 6-piece Banquet of Eyes on, but the stats aren't going to be the same as this. So it's hard to do the math to actually, confirm one gear set versus another gear set. The nice thing is they're all maxed right now as the 1257 combat rating. Um, yeah, but the combat rating does help. This kind of my strategy here. My stats are like my damage is not the max it could be because I went with just whatever pieces have the highest combat rating. Why? Because we're back to like challenge rift level has been raised to 400. So, we're now seeing higher combat rating lock points requirements. That combat rating is actually a very, very big deal. Yeah, let's click on that. I never noticed you could get a tooltip from that before. Modifies damage you output and deal and take. 4,000 higher than monsters at my level. Increasing all damage I do by 11%. Decreasing all damage I take by 10%. Against players cannot gain more than a 10% damage increase or 10% damage reduction. So that's like a 20-point swing depending on your combat rating, or 20%. You deal 10% more, take 10% less. That's pretty substantial. But anyway, um, so I'm all going for combat rating. I don't care about any of the other stats. I could maybe try this with a full strength build, and I may do that, but let me just run through here real quick and show you what I got. Maw of the Pursuer. Mephitic Cloud releases red blood mist, increases my damage done. Let's check the skill. The continual damage is not a ton. I mean, 9,000, almost 10,000 damage a second is nice, but it's not huge. But it increases my damage done by 25% while I stay in the cloud. That's nice. When when I remain inside the cloud, my attack and movement speed are increased by 28.5%. Also very nice. Now I'm getting mixed up. So, my next thing. Yeah, this is better than the Siphon Blood. My next thing, Torture and Torment. Swarm of bats now causes a small circle of bats to circle you. When you use a primary attack, bat swoops down, bites enemies. Swarm of bats damage increased by 18%. Da 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 da. We'll go look at that. Swarm of bats. Now, when I use a primary attack, a bat swoops down and bites nearby enemies, dealing 13k damage. Plus the damage increase. So, every primary attack, I've got the primary attack damage plus another 13k damage that can also crit. I've seen, 1 million damage ticks with this a couple times. Next thing, Shadow's Edge damage increased by 38%. Very important because Shadow's Edge is your main source of damage here. It's 9.6 million damage. Next big thing. This is huge. Shroud of Night now only empowers you, causing every other primary attack to conjure a shadowy apparition to attack enemies. Reduces Shroud of Night cooldown. Go over to the skill here. Shroud of Night empowers me for 6 seconds, causing every other primary attack to da da da. How much damage does that do? Well, let's see here. It doesn't show as actually doing Shroud of Night damage. That adds, I believe, the way that works is it adds, in effect, another primary attack. See, that's just, wow, that's pretty nice. See, it's like double, is it? Now we hit that. Yeah, it's like an extra attack. Practically. It's basically every 2 primary attacks, it counts as a third primary attack, which is, yeah, it's in effect increasing your attack speed without without having a cap. Talking about cap, this is the one thing I'm kind of not sure about. I've heard something about when you remain it. Well, I read this description. When you remain inside Mephitic Cloud, your attack and movement speed are increased by 28.5%. Now, I've heard there is a cap. 28.5% here, 30% here. I have heard that anything that increases your attack speed, you're pretty much capped to the highest increase. As in, you know, I'm not getting 58.5%. I'm getting 30% from the Vithu. I don't get both. If that's the case, running poison bats might be nice here. Keep your Banquet of Eyes damage up. Or yeah, that's like the one option I can think off the top of my head. Then I got this baby. Shadow's Edge also increases primary attack speed, which is, notice, primary attack speed by 10% for 2 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So I can get 30% primary attack speed boost. This is important because it's a different wording. It's not attack speed boost, it's primary attack speed boost. So this is where I can get my speed up. It's a different. It's not attack speed, it's primary attack speed. So this is where I can get up to that 50% because primary attack speed is a different boost and it stacks on top of the other. So in effect, I should be doing something around 60% attack speed increase. Mercy's Plate. For single target damage, I like this because now marks enemies, causing them to erupt for 32k additional damage when reaching 4 marks. So every 4 hits, boom, boom. Self-explanatory, right? Like how these are other boosts I got on it. Got 2% from the charm. Increases primary attack speed. Do. Now we can come over here. What would I do if I didn't do the Mephitic Cloud? I probably could. Let's try poison bats. See if we can get a little bit higher. The other thing you could run here. The ricochet blades. I use that like everywhere because it's just nice. It turns your primary attack into more of an AoE attack. But for this single target DPS, going with that. Now, fourth skill that I use, I'm not 100% sold on this. I'm not saying I love this, but Whirling Strike causes enemies to burn. I was kind of using that to get that Banquet of Eyes boost. But But yeah, we're gonna try this again. We've traded. The bats are now poisoned, and Mephitic Cloud isn't giving attack speed. We're just gonna try it real quick. Whoo-hoo. Yikes, that is amazing. This actually like lower us as the ultimate. Yeah, so your damage does kind of come down at some point just because your a lot of your gem bonuses have cooldowns. Alright. Yeah, look at that. 20 at least half my damage comes from the legendary gem uh, whatnot, such as Howler's Call, Seeping Bile, and probably Blood-Soaked Jade, and what's the other this buddy here, Bottled Hope. All right, we're gonna try it one more time. We're gonna stick it, try to keep it down to like 5-10 seconds, even though it was just so fun earlier. Ready, go. Ah. Yeah, that's showing the bats as a good little bump in damage. Very nice there. Uh, we did get over 2 million. I don't know. I see. Here's the catch. If you run poison bats, you lose the Mephitic Cloud attack speed. You know, you and then you're hitting your Vithu bonus speed, which guess what? That's your cap anyway. But that Vithu speed, comes and goes. It only lasts so long. See the I got my Bottled Hope, attack speed, damage increase there. But yeah, so Vithu's gone already. Mephitic Cloud attack speed lasts a lot longer. I I think I don't have enough Banquet of Eyes pieces to do this, I don't think. Or do I? I need the gloves. Yes. Okay. Alright. Now, I want to say this is not an apples to apples comparison. Oh, yeah. Your skill cooldowns also play a big part in this. This is not an apples to apples comparison because now my stats have changed. Damage actually went down a little bit. Armor pen, I forget. I'll go back at some point. Let's change my essence real quick. We're gonna take this back to Mephitic Cloud. Speed. Where you at? Where you at? What? Ah, this one. Night Flare. So the bats are no longer poisoned. Yeah, we just get the speed boost there. And then the whirling strike is going to be our uh, damage every time effect. All right. Oops. Okay. Ready. Set. Go. Whew. Dude, that is very fun. Notice your the critical strike increase. Oh, the ghost axe from, yeah, your paragon, your weaver is very nice, and it will stack with this because you're doing the. I'll go over this real quick. Da-da-da. Increases your damage for 1% for every stack. You get a hit with primary attack or skill, and the attacks must alternate between primary attack and skill to build a stack. So, uh, what that does is, okay, so that's a skill, but I'm actually gaining stacks with my primary attack. Why? Because I've I've got the other I got all the other stuff going too. So that's keeping my stacks topped off. Like especially if I'm using Bat or Shroud of Night or a continual effect like Mephitic Cloud. Alright, I'm gonna reset that. I'm gonna let my cooldowns come back. We're gonna do this like one more time. Get like a really good accurate guess. Alright, I'm tired of waiting. Ready, set, go. I was pretty slow hitting those buttons. I don't think I'm gonna get that 2 mil. I didn't notice if Valor came back either. Huh. That is odd. I'm not getting quite as high. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm probably my Banquet of Eyes cooldown. The 6-piece buff. That's where you get your damage with Banquet of Eyes. Critical hit chance is nice. Very nice. It's hard to stack that in PvP. And obviously, it's hard on single target because you're only getting 2.5% for each continual damage effect you inflict. Enter poison rage for 12 seconds. Yeah. I think I think what happened when that little thing was over the top here, I think that my poison rage had just procced and it hit that tree there. Alright, I think we've been over 40 seconds. we're gonna try this one last time. Go. Wow. I messed up in the buttons. Yeah, see, that had my poison rage going right there. Man, I gotta wait 40 seconds now. To really get the thing. Now, I want to talk about other options. I would like to see what this does to my damage output. Two immobile shadowy apparitions that utilize your primary attack to assault nearby enemies. That sounds like instead of having a shadowy apparition on every other hit, this sounds like I'm going to, in effect, triple my damage. Right? Two shadowy apparitions that utilize primary attack to assault nearby enemies. Versus powering me and nearby allies, causing primary attack. Oh, that's a different one. Empowers me, causing every other primary attack to conjure a shadowy apparition to attack enemies. So where this is one shadowy, wow, one shadowy apparition every other attack, this is two shadowy apparitions to utilize primary attack. That I don't know. I don't have it. I can't test it, but it sounds like triple damage. The one I have sounds like it increases me by like 50%. That sounds like it increases me by like potentially 300%. So we'll see. We'll hope when I get that, I'll make another video. For pants, Mephitic Cloud increases primary attack speed by 30%. Guess what? I'm already getting 30% with my offhand. But it's a stack deal where, you know, I could run a different essence here, which could be nice. I could get the shadowy blades. Will it help DPS? Not really. But you know, it throws another option in there. Primary attack speed versus just an attack speed buff. What else? I have all of these. Shadow's Edge damage increase. That's big. Anything to increase Shadow's Edge. Oh yeah, running. Yeah, so I'm running this. Mark enemies, causing them to interrupt extra damage when reaching 4 marks. This is the other one. I don't think it will help against DPS much, except for damage increased by 90% versus damage increased by 9%. You know, it's something that'll help a little bit in the long run. I think that's, you know, I'm excited to get those last two essences and try it out, but I wanted to talk about where I'm at, what I found out, and you know, give you guys some ideas, some things to go on. Anyway, later.